Tom Brady and the Buccaneers are 7-5, are ranked 9th in passing yards per game and 15th in total offense through Week 12. While Tampa has made things work and has been able to win enough games to be solidly in a wild card spot, there are some concerns to be had about Tom Brady's deep ball and how he fits in Arians' system. Tom Brady has had some flat-out awful stretches through the season where he's had 2 separate 4-week spans where he was 3 of 28 and then 0 of 19 on deep passes. And these lulls are what caused the Buccaneers' offensive inconsistencies from week to week. Brady is having difficulty reading deep at times, having miscommunications with his receivers, and has also developed some mechanical issues when he tries to push the ball downfield. To understand why Brady is struggling, we also need to know what he does well to be able to compare the differences. Brady is still absolutely lethal in the intermediate game and shows great anticipation and touch. When Brady can key off of linebackers underneath, he's still one of the best in the league. Here, Tampa Bay is running 2 posts with what is supposed to be an underneath drag and a sit route. The strong safety is supposed to be put in conflict by the drag in the post. That drag doesn't come because of some miscommunication, but the defender moves himself out of position anyways. Brady is throwing the post to Mike Evans, and he's starting his throwing motion before Evans has even started to turn his head. He's locating that underneath defender and sees that his hips are turned to the outside and that he's flowing away from the window to the post. Brady throws a perfect strike right in the soft spot of the defense and protects his receiver from a big hit. Brady isn't suffering from dwindling arm strength either. When Brady throws deep on rhythm, he has elite touch and accuracy. This is one of the Buccaneers' favorite deep concepts with 2 deep crossers intersecting across the field. It puts single high safeties in conflict, makes defenders transfer zones, or forces the defense to run with some really talented receivers for the Buccaneers. It also fits Brady's ability to throw rhythm deep balls while also allowing him to read underneath defenders. As soon as Brady comes out of the play fake here, all he has to do is locate where the corner is and whether the Raiders defense is going to exchange zones or is matched up in man coverage. He sees that the Raiders are running with their receivers and he knows all he needs to do is put some air under the ball and let Scotty Miller run underneath it. He throws off one hitch, is decisive, and delivers a great ball. These rhythm deep balls and anticipation throws in the middle of the field are where Brady still thrives. It shortens the throw and it mirrors the system that he ran in New England with McDaniels. It fits Brady's skill set and arm talent, and it allows some very talented Tampa Bay receivers to get the ball in space and attack linebackers in the middle of the field. We understand what he does well, but let's look at the main issues that keep popping up. Brady does not read deep defenders very well and has begun to stare down deep routes. So if he isn't throwing those deep routes on time, it allows defenders to read his eyes and flow to that side and impact the throws. In his final drive against the Rams, Brady makes an almost rookie mistake. The Rams are showing a too high look but buzzing to cover one robber. The boundary side safety comes down to rob the middle of the field and the field side safety rotates up to the deep middle. Brady stares down his receiver to the top of the screen the entire way. He assumes since the safety to that side came down, he has room deep. But if that guy is coming down, there's almost always going to be a guy coming to replace him. Brady doesn't recognize the safety rotation and throws a ball like he's expecting nobody to come over the top and help that route. This allows the other safety to get over and intercept the ball and seal the game for the Rams. There is a lot of post-snap reading for Brady in Arians' system, but this is still a coverage and a rotate that he should be able to diagnose and throw off of. If he instead moved the safety that way and looked him off and then came back to the post to Godwin, there's a lot more space there to work with. Arians' system does ask a lot from its quarterbacks, but this is stuff that you would expect Brady to be able to do. Especially when facing pressure along with it, Brady has left some plays on the field. Against Kansas City, the Chiefs are bringing a 0 blitz, which leaves the 2 deep safeties in man coverage on the slot receiver and the tight end. 0 is an all-out blitz, so generally when you see cover 0, you want to attack the middle of the field because there's no underneath defenders and there's nobody in the middle of the field from a safety position to help out. With tight end Cameron Brate going to the flats, that removes the boundary safety because he has to come down on him in man coverage. This leaves the post to Godwin wide open. Instead of diagnosing the blitz and having a plan for it by attacking the post, Brady throws the ball out of bounds to Antonio Brown, who's running a double move. Brady struggles with safety reads, but he also has a mechanical issue, which is bringing his feet together on his hitch step. This is called heel click. That action causes you to change vertical levels as a quarterback, and as a consequence can make your throws go high or low. You want your hips to stay on the same horizontal plane as a quarterback, and any interference with that can lead to inaccuracies. This heel click happens a lot when he's pushing the ball downfield, and it's causing a lot of inaccuracy there. You can see on this clip how he has that heel click and how much his hips sink and raise on the throw. That vertical displacement ultimately causes the accuracy issue deep. Like I said before, for quarterbacks, it's all about consistency, and Brady just doesn't have it here. If your platform and your base change from throw to throw, it's going to be hard to be consistently accurate. Finally, there are some miscommunications between he and his receivers. They'll throw fades when receivers stop for back shoulders and vice versa. You can see a great example of that here as the Bucs are running vert switch with two receivers exchanging and switching their routes so that the slot goes out to the fade and the outside receiver comes inside for the seam. Brady decides on the slot fade, but he makes the incorrect decision to throw the deep ball. On fades like this, you're reading leverage. If the defensive back is stacked on top, the quarterback and receiver are taught to work the back shoulder. If they're even, you throw the fade. Here, clearly the corner is on top of Chris Godwin, which means this should be a back shoulder. That's exactly what Godwin is reading here. Whether you want to say it's lack of chemistry from the offseason or what, it's an example of not being on the same page, and it happens fairly often, even this far into the season. You can see that same miscommunication issue here with Antonio Brown this time, and Brown feels that the defensive back has leverage on him, so he snaps the route off for a back shoulder. Brady, meanwhile, has already begun his throwing motion for a fade. Brady's struggles reading deep safeties, his footwork issues, and the receiver miscommunications has led to Brady and that offense getting bogged down at times. Combine that with a rushing offense that ranks 28th, and it can be hard to sustain offense. The Bucs will be just fine though. Even with these issues, they're scoring the 7th most points in the league. When your offense goes through the deep ball and the deep ball isn't hitting, you're going to see these inconsistent games and performances from Tampa Bay. Use Brady's elite intermediate throwing and use rhythm shots for the deep ball, and Tampa Bay will be right on track for the playoffs. And if that defense also evens out and gets more consistent in the secondary, nobody's going to want to see playoff Brady. Hey guys, make sure to check out the Patreon for weekly game picks, some extra bonus content and video breakdowns every week. There's also early releases for these full breakdowns. You can donate just $1 a month and that gives you access to all of it. I appreciate you guys tuning in, and until next time, I'm Casey Sully, and I'll see you on the next film breakdown.